Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Ramona the Love Terrier, who has decided that she needs a little time on stage here. I'm Owen Thomas. I'm the editor-in-chief of ReadWrite, and this is ReadWriteMix. I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Simon Khalaf, the CEO of Flurry. Simon, please join us.
Thank you. Hello.
So, why are we here? We are here.
Do you want to sit?
Yeah, let's sit down. Ramona's already sitting down.
She's so relaxed.
Yeah. I think this is just how we're going to do it.
Yes.
She obviously runs the show. I mean, Ramona is a very modern dog. She has a Twitter account and a Facebook page.
I'm a follower.
Yeah, but there you go. But we're living in this kind of amazing moment, the cusp of change, which is why I asked you to join us tonight. We're in the mobile moment, like sort of that time when the lines on the chart intersect. We just ran a story on ReadWrite about how smartphones in use have overtaken or just poised to overtake, depending on how you count it, PCs in usage, in like actual usage. So this is it. Like this is what we've been talking about. But for the audience members who may not have heard of Flurry, could you tell them a little about the company and kind of where you got started and what you're doing now?
Sure. First, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
And we are living the moment, and we're not alone. There's 1.3 billion people living it at the same time. And you're right. If you add smartphone and tablets, they have eclipsed PCs in terms of active usage. So it is the time. It is that point in time. And actually,
we're here.
We're here.
Yeah. So we're in this mobile moment. Mobile is becoming routine. Maybe we can start by talking about what just happened with the holiday shopping season. We used to talk about Black Friday, you go to the physical store. Cyber Monday, you go back to work
right,
where you have internet and you buy stuff. That's not how we live today, is it?
No. No, we actually, IBM beat us to some numbers when we did release kind of our Thanksgiving report. And yes, we saw a major spike in usage. But we struggled with an angle because what we saw is people actually lived on their device. It wasn't they did a little bit more shopping, they did a little bit more reading, a little more gaming, but it's not that we saw a massive spike. And it told us that, look, there's no more Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Shopping has become 24/7, 365 activity, and there's deals everywhere. We see that a lot of people, it's actually living on demand versus like TV on demand or any, it's everything you want on demand, a cab on demand. Like just imagine your life without Uber. That was like 6 months ago.
It's, it's how I got here this morning,
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
And it's the same thing, it's shopping on demand. I'm like 3 a.m. in the morning, I can't sleep, wake up, couple of buttons, Retail Me Not has a great coupon on something, you do it.
One thing, though, that is an implication of this crossover in the lines, mobile devices overtaking desktop devices, is that the desktop is kind of, mobile eating the desktop is not the story. So what comes now?
Like, we've been dreaming about having like a computer in somebody's pocket. I remember, at a conference in 1999, I was at Novell and I was talking about, data will be at a storage facility, which is the cloud, but I didn't know it was the cloud. And computing will become in small pieces that are attached to the human body. And that was 1999. Now
when hard drives were probably like, what, 20 megabytes, and we were using...
heavy.
Yeah, right. And data was what, CD/PD, which was like...
it was, I mean, I started...
That's really slow for you young people out there.
Yeah, I mean, I started working, I had to beg for 8 megabytes of storage.
Yeah.
So, and on a mainframe.
And how much storage do you consume now at Flurry?
It's like, I don't even know. We take in like about 4 billion, closer to 40 billion transactions a day.
Wow. And
I don't know how much storage that is. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, I just want to really think this through. What you're talking about is all these behaviors becoming mainstream, common and accepted for consumers, also well understood by big established players. We're no longer seeing the phenomenon where a quote-unquote mobile-first startup comes and grabs a lot of share because people are not paying attention. It's not mobile versus desktop, it's mobile versus mobile.
That is correct. It's mobile versus mobile. That's correct. And it's mobile versus physical, and it's mobile versus establishment.
And we have these new devices coming on board that we haven't really figured out, talking about human interactions. Like this one has decided to just go off on me. But that's feeding more data into our mobile devices, and that's another revolution that we haven't really figured out.
We think it's an extension. Like Flurry data suggests people are wearing their devices.
Right.
Like I can talk about myself and I can talk about the Flurry data.
Yeah.
Like I don't leave my iPhone anywhere. Like even when I'm asleep, it is within 2 feet from me. That's the thing that wakes me up, and I'm on it all the time. So it's a reflection of what I do. And the wearable is simply an extension of that. So, but our data suggests that devices and apps are being used 24/7, 365. So, and I think we published this in May. We showed the usage throughout the day. So people are wearing their devices. So what the wearables will do is...
So the phone is a wearable.
It is a wearable.
Yeah.
It's in my pocket. I mean, it's more accessible than my wallet to me. Like wallet, I don't touch it at night.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of devices, I test them all the time for my ReadWrite Body series, where it seems like a lot of the value is just going to flow into the phone. Actually, Fred Wilson wrote about this recently.
That's right.
Where if all the device is an accelerometer, well, your phone already has that, so try again.
I personally don't see that wearables is going to be a revolution to the smartphone and tablet revolution. It's going to be an extension and evolution to the existing revolution.
It probably adds utility to
that is correct.
To mobile devices.
That is correct. Yeah.
And if anything, powers that revolution.
That is correct. It's a booster, right? You have a content explosion on mobile. Like you still have multi-billion or multi-trillion-dollar industries that are still operating on pen and paper. Or you look at the cable industry, I mean, it's a ripoff.
Right.
I mean, the consumers are being ripped off. I mean, it's kind of highway robbery. That can come to mobile as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about, why do we pay that cable subscription? And my answer is...
Because you're used to it.
Yeah,
it's a comfort level.
Right, it's sort of decision fatigue. If you ask me to figure out, how much is HBO worth? How much is Logo worth?
Yeah.
How much is Bravo worth? I don't really watch other channels.
Yeah.
But thinking about what I would pay for just those channels is too hard.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's why there's a lot of things left to do. I think there's more work ahead of us than work behind us. And we're seeing that, the number of apps being submitted to Flurry, and we're kind of a leading indicator. You'd assume that the new apps would be flat and the cumulative would go up. It's accelerating. And because out of 1.3 billion people, you'll always find 50 million to use your stuff.
Yeah.
So let's compare that to 1999, the height of the biggest bubble. There was only 24 million broadband users. Today, there's 1.3 billion. So the signal is multiplied by 50x factor, but so is the noise.
Right.
So it doesn't mean you're going to monetize 50 million, but you'll find 50 million people to use your stuff. It's kind of like the 50 million is the new 5 million.
Right.
That tells you that there's so much opportunity. But I think to bring it down to one sentence, think of a 1.3 billion labor force that you can tap into, and that's how you think about opportunities.
And think consumer first, not
absolutely,
not
consumer
mobile.
first. Let's make sure everybody understand in mobile, your boss is your consumer, not your VCs, not your discovery network, not your search engine. It is the consumer.
Oh, that's a great note to end on. Simon, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.